The Browns and Jets, they're not making the playoffs this year, but there are reasons to be optimistic about the future. We're going to break that down for you today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins, and we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long.
Joe, happy Victory Tuesday to the Los Angeles Chargers. The big, 5-turnover win over the Philadelphia Eagles.
Was that it? It felt like there was more.
No, I mean, just Philly had 5 turnovers. Just Philly had 5 turnovers. Yeah, Jalen Hurts just had 5 turnovers. Who had a worse performance last night? Jalen Hurts with the 5 turnovers or Justin Herbert after the game blowing off Laura Rutledge in this weirdly unnecessary, difficult post-game interview that everybody knows the winning quarterback has to do on Monday Night Football when your team wins?
There's a part of me that wanted to defend Justin Herbert and be like, man, I wouldn't want to do that either. I'd probably just want to go be with my teammates. But it's the drill, man. It's part of the privilege of being a starting quarterback in the NFL. You want a primetime game in overtime. You go answer 2 questions and then go celebrate with your teammates.
Right. And if you quit running away from her, you'd have been done sooner than you would have than what you were in the first place.
It's a tough game. I mean, he's got sacked 7 times. He's playing with this obviously pain in his hand. You can tell. And they win a game. It's kind of goofy. It's not necessarily because he made some big play at the end, right? Jalen Hurts threw a horrible interception. Yeah. And he's like, I just want to go home. That's what he said. Well, I mean, he didn't really say that, but you could sense it. So
we will talk about Monday Night Football a little bit more a little later in the show, but we do have 2 Levy Grails to get into. And if you're new to the program this year, you're at some point in the past year and you didn't catch the Levy Grails we've done thus far this season, when your season is over, mathematically, you're eliminated from the postseason. Joe and I on Locked On NFL Scouting like to do a segment that's dedicated to putting fan hats on for all the teams that get eliminated from the postseason to tell you why you should be optimistic going into this offseason. We are only allowed to be positive. So we're only going to talk about good things for the Browns and the Jets for the next 20 minutes of this program. And it's called the Levy Grail because the inspiration was Bills' legendary coach, Marv Levy, to help galvanize his team in the midst of adversity when they were making those Super Bowl runs but came up short, recited a Scottish ballad. Is that what we were calling
it? Scottish ballad. Yeah, that's right.
And it goes like this.
Fight on, my men. I am hurt, but I am not slain. I'll lay me down and bleed a while. And then I'll rise and fight
it again.
Again.
That's right.
The Browns. Why should you be optimistic? How about 2 first-round picks coming up?
It's a good place to start, Joe.
It's a good place to start, man. Especially when you think about some of the young talent that they already have. I won't go through the whole inventory quite yet, but 2 first-round picks to go with a nucleus of young talent that I think looks pretty strong is what I'd be pretty excited about.
So doing the full docket for Cleveland right now, 4, 27, and 40 are their top 3 picks. You can do a lot of damage in any draft with 3 top 40 picks, regardless of how good or bad the draft class is, right? There's some questions about, how many of the quarterbacks are going to come out, and what's the offensive tackle group at the ceiling look like, and what's the corner room look like at the top of the draft, and you get to pick at 4, you're going to get an impact player regardless of what position he plays. Or you have a chance to get an impact player, right? I mean, I can name 4 players off the top of my head that I feel very confident are going to be very good professional NFL football players that are going to be there, one of them at least. 27 and 40. I think 27 is actually probably closer to where the sweet spot is in this draft, where the player you'll pick at 27 is probably not going to be all that different than the player that you pick at 12, right? So I think they're in the window for the few blue chip players, the candidate to get one of those blue chip players. And then I think having multiple bites of the apples at 27 and 40 gives them players that, maybe it's not plus value relative to the picks, but relative to where earlier picks in this year's class is going to be, I think you're still going to get comparable players.
Kyle, they might be able to get a trio of players in the top 40 like Mason Graham, Carson Schlesinger, and Quinshon Judkins. Like they just did.
When you put it like that.
Like they literally just did. Now, we won't look at the previous 3 draft classes, but my goodness, that's a really nice infusion of talent. Not to mention Harold Fannin in the 3rd round, who I am going to take a massive L on. This guy can flat out play. The missed tackles that he forces, the plays that he makes down the field, the contested situations, he feels like the perfect type of tight end to help build your offense around. Not to mention you've seen Shedeur Sanders play really well in the last game and has a great opportunity here over the next month to build upon that and put himself in position to maybe even open next year as the leader in the clubhouse to be the starting quarterback. And so this looks like one of those draft classes that they just put together that is foundational and can be a huge part of the nucleus of this team moving forward. And they're loaded with the inventory of picks to build on that in this coming draft.
I think the overall draft philosophy is something that should be applauded as well. When you consider in 2019, this team did not make a first-round draft choice when John Dorsey was in charge. And then in 2020, they made a first-round pick at 10 with Jedrick Wills. And then in 21 was Greg Newsome. Greg Newsome was the last first-round pick this team made before Mason Graham.
Wow. Yeah.
Deshaun Watson trade.
Yeah.
3 first-round picks, right? So I'm not going to talk too much about Deshaun Watson because we are aspiring to be exclusively positive. I will say being another year closer to saying goodbye to Deshaun Watson is a reason for Cleveland Browns fans to be optimistic. How about how Shedeur Sanders has played in moments early in his NFL career? I think there's a chance for them to really get some more clarity and kind of decide if you have confidence in what he can be. I think that just opens the possibilities for you that much wider for how you can build the rest of the team out around him and see how he grows.
Yeah, I think that's very, very intriguing. I mean, if Shedeur winds up being like the guy, what a great way to figure that out after some of the struggles that they've had. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we just picked some guy in the 5th round after picking some other guy in the 3rd round that some people thought maybe could go high, very controversial. But we were the one that did it, and, it works out.
Cash in on it, right?
That'd be monumental, especially with what you can build around them. They have some other really nice young players that I've enjoyed on this football team. Of course, Myles Garrett's awesome, but how about like this group of Isaiah McGuire, Alex Wright, and Cam Thomas that are kind of like getting it done along with them? I really like Ronnie Hickman at safety. I think Tyson Campbell's proven to be an answer for them. And so I think for them, they have a really nice opportunity to replenish their offensive line in the offseason. Yeah. I think is it Bitonio, Pochik, and Teller are all coming up, maybe even Conklin.
That sounds right. I'm going to pull up their multi-year summary now.
That's a lot to figure out, but good, right? I mean, those are players that are on the tail end, right? They're on the decline. They're
on the 17th green.
Yeah, man. And for a while that was a really good unit, but you have the opportunity now to kind of reset that as some of those contracts come off the books here.
Okay, so offensive linemen that are expiring contracts for the Cleveland Browns this offseason. Are you ready? You're going to say yes, but I don't know that you are.
Is it all of them? I'm pretty sure.
It's Wyatt Teller, Joel Bitonio, Ethan Pochik, Cam Robinson, Tevin Jenkins.
Cam Robinson, jeez. Get these guys all out of here, man.
Yeah. So five pretty meaningful expiring contracts.
But Conklin's still around, huh?
Conklin's under contract through 2027.
Wow. Okay. 2 more years. That's crazy.
And then at that point, he's only going to carry a few $1 million in void years, which is nice.
Good.
I think the Harold Fannin hit sets the stage very well for probably a transition away from David Njoku as well. And Njoku, age 29, has been a good player for Cleveland since they made him one of their 3 first-round draft picks when they drafted him. But $24 million in void money for dead cap for you voided out his contract and bought down a salary cap. You have to start making some of those decisions. And that's where I look at a guy like Njoku with a player that's in place. The offensive lineman, it might be more tempting to re-sign at least one or two of them because you don't have the other answers in place, right? So, we can give ourselves operating cap for 1 more year as we get through the Deshaun Watson contract by extending out Wyatt Teller so we don't have $25 million in dead money this year for not having Wyatt Teller under contract. But for Njoku, we have Fannin, 3 years rookie contract, not going to get more than $2 million in cap commitments till 2028. Let's make that transition happen now. They can pick their spots in that regard.
All right. Not a bad list for Cleveland fans. And not that we didn't even get into the stadium, man. Stadium looking pretty cool. I mean, I don't love that it's a closed venue, but that's going to open up a lot of things potentially for Cleveland. Mm-hmm. All right. Coming up next, same thing, different team, the Jets. Stick with us. NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. And that's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. And live betting is best when the game starts to shift. The receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a big turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into that moment. They've got live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly, player props that update as guys heat up, and you can bet next touchdown score, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, and every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
The Jets. Chris Schubert, how are you?
$100 million in cap space, Kyle Crabbs. That feels pretty good, along with 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, 3 first-round picks in 2027. You can build, right? They're not going to hire a new GM. They're not going to hire a new head coach. And you got the stuff to really bring forward this vision that Aaron Glenn and company have for the New York Jets moving forward.
The 2 words that I had for the Jets is blank slate.
Yeah.
I want to read to you the offensive.
Sorry, I know. It was a little bit late, but I felt like I had to do that.
I want to read to you the offensive players under contract in 2026 for the New York Jets. Okay? This is the full list of offensive players on the 53 right now that are under contract next year with the team. Justin Fields. Maybe transition there if you want to. Garrett Wilson, Armand Membu, Olu Fashanu, Joe Tippmann, Mason Taylor, Arian Smith, Isaiah Davis, Braylon Allen, Adonai Mitchell, Isaiah Williams, Gus Hartwig, end of list. Not a lot of fat there, right?
No,
some
none at all.
Very meaningful, good young players that are all locked in. Defensive players under contract with the team in 2026. Will McDonald, Harrison Phillips, Jermaine Johnson, Brandon Stevens, Azaria Thomas, Malachi Moore, Quantez Stiggers, Mozzie Smith, Brady McGregor, Tyler Barron, Jarvis Brownlee, Dean Clark, end of list. Not a lot of fat there, and some good players.
Mm-hmm.
The world is your oyster, New York. Make it whatever you want it to be. You can do anything. Probably a multi-year process. But I don't look at any of these contracts. I'm like, man, they're stuck with that for how long?
Yeah.
No, I'd be looking at what I could do with the Brandon Stevens contract, but we're going to be positive here on the show. By and large, I think it's a very good nucleus of young players that are being forced into playing now. And your unquestioned cornerstones are locked in on contracts, that being Garrett Wilson.
And they have the resources to do that, right?
Right.
They will be able to sign players, to draft talent, to maintain flexibility navigating this 2026 and 2027 NFL draft. And so I think the big thing is just be careful. Like, don't sell your soul for the wrong stuff.
Take your time.
And take your time, dude. It's been a tough journey for the Jets. It really has. And some false hope that hasn't really come together. There's no reason to force this. And this is a really unique opportunity to take advantage of. And I think that's where the excitement comes, is nobody's promising anything quick. And you're in position to go through a really healthy process to build this thing up and have yourself a chance to be a sustained winner, something that we haven't seen in New Jersey in a while.
I noticed you said New Jersey.
I got to do my stuff, man. Got to do my stuff. I got to be true to who I am. I know who butters the biscuit. You know what I mean, Kyle?
That's right. I appreciate how this team has found some traction. 3-3 in their last 6 after an 0-7 start too, right? And if you start 0-7, you have a monumental trade day where perceivably your 2 best players are gone, and yet they found ways to play largely competitive. I think it's the pathway for them getting better is very simple, right? They've got the nucleus of an offensive line to work with. They need to find disruptors and playmakers on defense. They have 2 takeaways all season. Okay. So Aaron Glenn needs to get guys in that play the defense the way he wants them to play. They've been very good on special teams all season long. And they need to figure out the quarterback position. And if they do that, they have the ammunition to do all of those things. However they go about solving that riddle is going to set them up for success. And I just did you're going to be stunned to hear this, Joe. I did a playoff predictors this morning.
Yeah.
And I had a not that crazy outcome of picking games in which there were 6 teams that all finished with 3 wins. And that was it for the draft order. The Jets right now, 3-10. 3 of their next 4 are on the road, and their last home game is against the Patriots. So if you're a fan that doesn't want to root for losses, I get it, and no judgment here, right? I can't bring myself to root for losses. I did the whole, we're going to purposely be bad thing, and I was cheering when they beat the Colts that year in 2019, right? I've lived that myself.
Yeah.
But if you finish 3-14, this is kind of a nutty draft year. You could fall into a very favorable pick in the order because the schedule is not particularly kind. And the soft opponent you do have, New Orleans, is also playing team stuff. They just upset the Bucks, and you have to go to New Orleans to play that game.
So a lot of opportunity right there for this Jets team. Opportunities there. All right, we're going to have the opportunity to talk about something I never thought we'd talk about, and that's the potential return of Phillip Rivers to the National Football League. In addition to Monday Night Football, folks, be sure to stick with us. There's no reason to let big wireless drain your wallet, especially during the holidays. Right now, Mint Mobile is running their best deal of the year. All of their unlimited plans are 50% off. That means you can lock in 3, 6, or even 12 months of unlimited premium wireless for just $15 a month. It's the easiest way to take your overpriced phone bill and give it the full Scrooge treatment. And what makes this even better is how Mint Mobile makes it so easy to switch. There's no contracts, there's no nonsense, just real savings and real quality service. Switching to Mint lets you keep your same coverage for a lower price. Setup only takes a few minutes. You can bring your own phone and number without any issues, and the service is fast. It's super reliable, even on the go. So turn your expensive wireless present into a huge wireless savings future by switching to Mint. Shop Mint Mobile. Unlimited plans at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNFL. That's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNFL. Limited time offer. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for a 12-month plan. Required $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees. Initial plan term only. Greater than 35 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com.
I want to see it at this point. Phillip Rivers. Why not? Join the practice squad. Save us, Phillip.
So I had two thoughts here. The first one is, how many kids does Phillip Rivers have?
He could field a full football team, I believe.
Man, I mean, I only got 2, and sometimes I want to leave my house as well. We go to the grocery store, get away from it. I mean, what a moment! You got a chance to go be NFL quarterback. Nobody's gonna be bothering you. Maybe this guy just needs a month to himself. The other thing here is, as you just consider the idea that the Colts have called 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who's a semifinalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame this year. Who else did they call? Like, if Phillip Rivers is on the menu? What other phone calls were made?
Right.
And
I said to you in the pregame show, he's in the lexicon because he had a stint,
right,
and finished in Indy, right? So it was who else was on that? I can't imagine they tried to call Andrew Luck, right? But
I'm sure they call Andrew Luck every year just as a formality. Hey, man, you thinking about playing? You good? We got a spot. Matt Ryan, who's doing a great job with the CBS
game day desk. He's sitting there and he's bringing some great insight, but I have to imagine he was on the Rolodex of phone calls if 39-year-old Phillip Rivers in 2020 went 11-5 and gets a phone call and is going to come in for a visit. Trying to think, is there anybody else that's been with Shane Steichen that's out there?
Maybe Frank Reich can play, surely like Ryan Tannehill's just not going to play anymore, right? Like, I think we can just accept that.
He's going to go out fishing every day and enjoy his life right off in the sunset. Because this would have been a tailor-made opportunity for somebody like a Ryan Tannehill to come in.
Yeah, like if Ryan Tannehill's not, I mean, I assume he was called. Who else you called Tom Brady?
No.
Come on, you don't think Tom Brady's petty enough to go to Peyton Manning's former team and go salvage their season?
I think once Tom jumped through the hoops to get the minority ownership deal with the Raiders.
That is true. He is the owner.
I don't think he's going to come back out the other side of that and say, you know what? Let me sell my stock off real quick here and come back and play.
Drew Brees throw football. I mean,
yeah, I'm really just thinking about Steichen was with the Colts since 23, Philadelphia in 21 and 22. It's not like we could call Carson Wentz, right? Like,
what's Nick Foles doing, man? It's like a
Chargers offensive coordinator in 19 and 20, quarterbacks coach with the Chargers from 16 to 19.
Yeah, I get the Phillip Rivers piece kind of makes sense, right?
That's why the Phillip Rivers gets a call. Yeah.
What's the arm talent like right now?
I know what it looked like in 2020.
Me too. I happen to be a fan of the team that played him in his last game. I saw it.
Yeah. Didn't that weirdly get oddly close, even though Buffalo kind of comfortably handled the game the whole way through, but then you're in a position for was it a game winning or game tying drive that they had?
Yeah, I had a game winning drive opportunity and he threw a Hail Mary, and it was the same season that the Bills got the Hail Murray, the Cardinals game, which I would remind you that the Bills went on to go to the playoffs, and the Cardinals, I think, lost all the rest of their games. So I'm glad that they were able to get that done. God bless it. Yeah, it was a Hail Murray attempt.
27-24 in Buffalo. And they got on the plus side of the 50, didn't they? And
Micah Hyde batted it down, baby. I won't forget it. I mean, you want to talk about just a nerve-wracking moment in my life. There was a really goofy penalty that got them in position to even have that opportunity. So
Colts got all the way down to the Buffalo 46.
My guy knocked it down.
So, think it speaks to the state of affairs of the Colts quarterback situation where, it's not just Daniel Jones. It's not just Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. Riley Leonard also dealing with injury, might not be able to go either. So who's going to play?
Yeah. Is it Brett Rippon? Is that the other quarterback they have?
That is their on-call standby, like practice squad quarterback.
It also speaks to, and this is a kind of a transition into Monday Night Football. It speaks to the AFC, where, I mean, the Colts, they're the 8th seed right now at 8-5. Mahomes ain't going to be in the postseason. Lamar's got an outside chance. Josh Allen's going to be a wild card on the road the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Right? Like, why not us? That would be my mentality if I was any team. I don't. We'll see. I mean, the last month of the season, some team could get hot and you're like, oh yeah, there it is. Right.
Yeah.
But you got a real opportunity here to make some noise. And I think the Colts with their run game, I wish their defense was playing a little bit better, but still a pretty good looking unit. I mean, you can't go win some playoff games this year. I don't think any team that gets in should feel like, yeah, we can't do it. So
I don't think we've mentioned it. I don't think the collective has acknowledged the DeForest Buckner loss for being as monumental as it was for the Colts defense.
Yeah.
He last played in the Pittsburgh game. And since that point in time for the Colts, it's been tough sledding on defense to go with all of the injuries on the offensive side of the ball. So they give up 25 and almost lose that game to Atlanta. The Chiefs tag him for almost 500 yards of offense. Jacksonville puts 36 on them. Lopsided game. So
the remaining schedule is pretty tough, though, for the Colts as well.
That's your answer to why not us if you're the Colts.
But
because you have 4 games left with either Riley Leonard, Brett Rippon, or the ghost of Phillip Rivers against at Seattle. Like, good luck, whoever's going to play quarterback going into Seattle. That's a nightmare scenario for a passing offense.
They got 5 days to figure that out.
Right? Probably safe to assume we Brett Rippon regardless. But unless Riley Leonard can go. It's super unfortunate, man. And it's that even when you get things right, you're not guaranteed anything. I think
they were 8-2 going into their bye.
Brother, they were 7-1. And they smoked the Chargers. They should have beat the Rams. Or they could have beat the Rams, excuse me. Let me phrase it properly. They had a couple hallmark wins. You said, hey, man, the schedule's all out here in front of them. Get all these division wins. They look like a wagon. DeForest Buckner goes down. The quarterback room falls apart. We might not have a winning record when it's all said and done after starting 7-1. You feel for Colts fans.
Daniel Jones, Sauce Gardner, and DeForest Buckner.
Yeah.
It's a war of attrition, man.
Is there any final thoughts you have as we wrap up today's program? Magically, well before the 34-minute mark. What's the ceiling of the Philadelphia Eagles this year? Are you nervous? I don't think I'm nervous for them to win the East, just because they have what should be reasonable cushion, and Dallas has a tie. So Philly's got the Raiders and Commanders the next 2 weeks, and they get the Commanders twice.
Yeah, they go to Buffalo in week 17. It's otherwise 2 against Commanders and 1 against the Raiders in Philly.
It's probably safe to assume their floor is 10-7.
Yeah, they should go 2-2.
2-2 at worst the next 4 games, right? So their floor is 10, which would mean Dallas would need to win out to catch them if Philly hits their floor. I don't think they're going to hit their floor.
This doesn't seem like an Eagles team that's ready to go on a run, but I've said that before. So
yeah, but it is different this year. Like even their offensive output last night. Don't forget the turnovers. Just running the ball, right? Saquon Barkley has
52 yards on the tush push counter, right? Like
right.
Otherwise, you didn't
like
do
it lined up and blocked the play well to get an explosive run.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm. Dude, they got 9 turnovers the last 3 games.
We're getting worse too.
Coinciding with feeding AJ Brown the football. He's now AJ Brown.
Sometimes
got
that looks
yards
really
in
good.
consecutive games, and then he had 99 last night. Ooh, right? Like,
yeah, there's times when you watch AJ Brown, you're like, this might be the most dominant receiver in the NFL. And there's other times you watch AJ Brown, you're like, what is going on?
and you ask, why didn't you catch that football in the end zone that went right off your hands in a pivotal moment of the game?
Over the middle, he didn't want it. He dropped it and was intercepted. Like, he didn't want to catch the ball. He didn't want the hit.
13 targets. He got six catches on 13 targets.
Not a lot of efficiency, but at least he got 13 targets.
And,
he needs to read a book on the sideline. That's what needs to happen to turn the Eagles season around.
What's the catch rate for? It's down this year for Devonta Smith. You know what Devonta Smith's career catch rate is on 535 targets?
I'd guess around 70-something%.
It's 69.5%, right? And it's down around 61% this year. But you contrast that with AJ, and I get some of this is like contested catch stuff, right? You know, there's tight windows that you have to win at the catch point. They have about the same catch rate this year, but AJ's career success rate on targets is like 63%. So Devonta Smith, almost it's 7%. It's a meaningful margin for like a career body of work. So I hate seeing Devonta fall off at the expense of AJ, because you certainly feel like Devonta's been more consistent of a player. You feel like he's earned it. And like last year's catch rate, dude, he had 89 targets and he caught 76% of them.
And that's good. Yeah.
We're down significantly as a result this year. I would simply not throw the ball to Devonta less. Like Devonta finishing a game with one catch for 8 yards, like what happened in Detroit, can't happen.
What if we just like called passing plays and the quarterback worked the progression and then they threw to the open player?
I think you're probably watching the wrong offense. And I think
they throw the ball to 4 guys, Kyle.
Brother,
you know what I mean?
I think it's less about Jalen Hurts didn't play particularly well last night, and he hasn't played particularly well for a couple of weeks now, but I think that's less about Jalen Hurts. We know what this offense looked like with Kellen Moore last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if any insider gives you a head coaching candidate list and it has the name Patullo on it, just throw it in the trash. Like, respectfully, there's no way. This is the most simplistic, predictable offense that exists in the NFL right now.
He's been affiliated with it since 2021, right? What was that guy they had from Florida before they went to Kellen Moore?
Was it Brian Johnson?
Yeah, Brian Johnson. So Brian Johnson to Kellen Moore to Patullo.
So when Steichen, Johnson, Moore, Patullo.
The next guy's going to be great.
The very easy thing to predict that's going to happen is that Kevin Patullo is not going to be the offensive coordinator. And Jalen Hurts will magically look better, and everybody's success rate on targets is magically going to be up because we're not just running the most vanilla stuff that you possibly can.
The Eagles' offensive coordinator history. What have they? It's just going to be.
You got 35 seconds.
Don't go too crazy here. Patullo, Steichen, Mike Groh. Okay, so Steichen went 2 seasons, and then Mike Groh 2 seasons, Frank Reich 2 seasons, Pat Shurmur 2 seasons. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Locked on NFL Kyle Crabbs, Joe Marino. Looked like we were going to be done in about 28 minutes.
That one's on me.
We got to milk it right down the wire. That's it for us today. We come back, see you again tomorrow. We are out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.